Hello everyone, it's Omae and welcome back to the brand new video. Today I just wanted to talk about the new Shamrock and Gunko in the PvP sense. We're going to go through the best teams to run these characters on, why these characters synergize so well with them, and what is Gunko and Shamrock bringing to the table. So, kind of obviously, strength team and world government powerhouse team, these two are going to be easily the best that Shamrock and Gunko will go on to, especially the world government team. They give a lot more when they are put on a world government team compared to strength, right? But I'll explain what these units are going to do, why I chose these units to run alongside them, and all that in the video, right? So I first want to give a bit of a summary of what these characters are doing. Gunko is great defensively because she gives an unbelievably powerful damage reflection, which reduces damage by 70% on herself, 40% on allies, and then she also will give a lot of CT to your Holy Knight characters, so Shamrock mainly. So Shamrock here, his main idea is that he's the DPS character on the team. The problem is that he's not doing damage ignoring defense. He only does his spread damage when you are in the final 30 seconds of the battle. So you really want to run characters alongside Shamrock that are lowering enemy defense. Now luckily Shamrock does give himself a massive attack up buff. He gives level 5 attack up in the Rumble special, but the main thing is the passive here. He gives himself up to level 15 attack up here when he does damage, so that's normal attacks included. And then he will also give a special CT speed up buff to himself, another attack up of level 7 to all of the team units, and then also characters like Gunko are going to give even more attack up buff to Shamrock. So I think if you do the math, it's above level 20, even up towards level 30 attack up, and every level of attack up is increasing your damage by 125. So if you're getting to level 30 attack up, that is a massive attack increase. I mean, 3,750, that's higher than Shamrock's base attack in Rumble, right? 3,261. So even though he's not doing damage ignoring defense, he's doing a lot of damage. The main issue is if the enemy has level 20 defense, all this. But characters like the Valkyrie and Mars here, or I mean Valkyrie and Jupiter, they give level 7 defense down to Cerebral and Slashes. There are so few characters in the game that actually give that much of a defense down in their passive. Like, just to give you an idea here, going to passive here, debuffs, defense down at a level 5. There's only like these characters that give defense down of above level 5 in the entire game. Like, there's so few good characters. These are the only characters that give a defense down of level 7 and above. And this character, Saint Peter and Saint Valkyrie, is one of your only options for that. You can also use the Mars and Saturn, who also give a level 5 defense down in their passive here, when you have 6 or more characters alive. But at the end of the day, I don't think Mars and Saturn is worth running anymore. The reason is that the new Shamrock is the DPS character. Mars and Saturn is also a DPS character. You do not need to. Let's rather focus on debuffing the enemy so that Shamrock does more damage. So when it comes to Shamrock, besides the damage, he's also allowing us to evade delay, CT delay. So that is a massive pro to this character's Rumble abilities. And also he's giving us, like, the entire team a bunch of special CT speed up, and also to himself. So even if you're not in the final 30 seconds, he's still targeting 3 enemies, doing 6x damage to each of them, and he's targeting specific enemies that you actually want to kill. They're DPS characters that are low HP, so you can clean them up, and then also high special CT enemies that are about to activate. If you can kill these units, it'll put you in a massively advantageous position, of course. Now, before he's doing that damage, this is very important when you have 5 or more world governments. So on this team here, yeah, very easily met here. We have Kaku, who is a world government, and then the full main lineup besides Smoothie is also world government. That meets 5 of the world government characters. And this will allow you to do 4k fixed damage to enemies with a shield. Now, What about shields? Shields level 1 is a 500 HP increase. Every level of shield is a 500 HP. So to have a strong enough shield to tank this 4K completely, you need a level 8 shield, which no one in the game does, by the way. Like, this is 4K. This is enough to break any shield in the game right now. Most characters have a level 5 shield from the Rumble special. A lot of these modern day characters, right? These are the characters that have level 5 shield. Blackbeard, the Peter and Walkyrie, ELBAPH, Sanji, all these units, they provide a shield, but it's only level 5, which is about 2500 HP. So first off, Shamrock is completely annihilating any shields in the game right now. Then he does a 20% HP cut, and then this damage. So yes, 6x isn't anything too crazy because it's not going through defense up, but it is quite substantial so long as you give the enemy a lot of defense down. I mean, the best example who, like from modern day, a character that in PvP does regular damage but still makes a massive impact with his damage is versus Zoro here. And his multiplier in his special is going to be only 3.5x, mind you. So Zoro, sometimes if you have the right setup, he activates right at the start. He does a lot of damage, even though this is only 3.5x. The reason is that we use characters that give enemy defense down, because defense is kind of the most important thing in Rumble. Even a few levels of defense up will heavily reduce your damage taken. So we use characters like what's his face, the original Saint Jupiter. This Dex one, he gives defense down in his passive of level 3. Characters like Treasure Map Usopp, and this guy is giving level 6 defense down. Yeah, he's one of the best in the entire game for defense down. Also versus Blackbeard, this is why the team that has the dot as its main function is so good, because we use versus Zoro alongside these dot units, which just happen to be also characters that give the enemy the most defense down in their passive. Let me see if I can actually just find Blackbeard here. Blackbeard versus Blackbeard. Blackbeard versus Law, bro. Where is my guy, bro? Anyways, I'll show you here on the database. Versus Blackbeard, one of the best defense down units, since he does give like level 8 or something like that. But anyways, my main point here is that Shamrock, you really want to be running these characters that reduce enemy defense alongside him. So yeah, here we have Blackbeard. He gives that level 7, yeah, level 7 defense down. Massive, bro. And he goes actually really well on powerhouse teams. So Blackbeard versus might actually be a move here. Having that Blackbeard alongside Shamrock would be so powerful on a powerhouse team. Like, this is a world government powerhouse team, but you could actually branch off of that and just make a regular powerhouse team for the new Shamrock, because we have a lot of these powerhouse units that give the enemy defense down, which Shamrock really needs. But anyways, the main idea of this team here is that we have Shamrock as the DPS. We have the Walkyrie and Jupiter, who is going to give healing from their passive, 1x recovery every time he takes damage for the entire crew. This is very similar to Memory's Kuma's healing in the passive. And he also gives dot to the enemy, gives the enemy massive debuffing for speed, defense, attack, as well as special CT speed. So this unit's great, also provides a shield for the team. But when it comes to Mars and Saturn, much more replaceable in my opinion. Shamrock fulfills their role already. And then we have Smoothie, great powerhouse unit. Of course, we want to run at least one other Big Mom pirate. So we're running a Katakuri and Big Mom on the bench. This unit provides insane CT delay, massive regular damage as well. So having them alongside Shamrock, pretty good DPS, honestly. This unit does a lot more damage in the match than I usually expect. And then, of course, the sub-swapping mechanic. But Imu here, constantly delaying the enemy, charging his own CT. If we can give the enemy ability bind and then Shamrock activates, of course, if the enemy has ability bind, they won't have good defense. And that's a perfect opportunity for Shamrock to do his thing. So I think people are underestimating this guy, if I'm being honest. I believe is way better than people are leading off. And then of course we have Kaku and Stussy on the bench. I mean, they kind of interchangeable. We just have Kaku there as a very tanky unit that will come in later on. He also does a bit of damage. Stussy is really just there because Kaku wants you to have either a Lucci or a Stussy on the team. But I mean, she's not going to really do much at that later stage of the battle. And she isn't even a world government tag unit, so don't get that confused. Stussy, not that crazy here. But of course, the Rob Lucci versus is a 55 cost unit. So the summary here is Valkyrie and Jupiter, Imu, Shamrock, and Gunko are all 55 cost. Oh shit. So then Big Mom and Katakuri actually wouldn't work. And then I guess put Kaku here on the first spot here. Bro, this database is so buggy, bro. Anyways, but yeah, Pudding is a 20 cost character you can use instead for Smoothie's condition. Put Kaku in the first slot on the bench, Stussy second slot, and then Pudding right at the back. But what about Gunko? I've been yapping on about Shamrock, and yeah, he still has that amazing CT delay evasion that we need to talk about. And also, he gives the enemy defense down of level 8 before doing his damage. That's a massive detail. So he's breaking down the enemy's defense up, their shield, and then doing this massive damage. And then in those final 30 seconds, he's a beast, man, doing that spread damage on top of all that. And remember, he's also first giving the attack up to himself and then doing the damage. Extremely impactful, right? Anything else I'm missing? And remember, yeah, he has insane special CT at the start of the battle. Level 7 to himself. Like beyond many other special CT speed up buffs. But Gunko, I mean, we need to talk about Gunko. Because yes, damage reflection, we've all been disappointed by it. Barto, we've tried it. Yes, Barto has a very mediocre damage reflection compared to Gunko, but there's still the issue of defense heavily nerfing damage reflection. But since we've already been on the topic of lowering enemy defense for Shamrock to be much better, it also will help Gunko immensely because damage reflection, since it is affected by defense, lowering that using Shamrock and all these other characters like versus Blackbeard, the dual alders, all these characters that lower enemy defense, IMU'S ability bind, that'll all help the damage reflection just get that much better. And the thing about Gunko is that she's also going to activate super quickly. I mean, she's a 31 CT unit, but she reduces her own CT by 50% so long as you have 5 or more world government, which we do have, as I did the tally earlier. So 50% CT reduction, she's essentially a 16 or 15 second unit right at the start. And then you have all these special CT speed up buffs, and also she's reducing Shamrock's cooldown every time she does damage. So when it comes to utility and that support, she's amazing. But then also she's amazing defensively thanks to damage reflection. And since she's reflecting so much of the damage, not just reducing it by a massive percent, she's also great for damage. I mean, she's doing a lot on the team. Definitely seems like one of these evergreen characters, similar to Caesar, Power Rumble Legend, that are just going to activate so early and make such an impact for the team long term. She's also giving healing. So like defensively, having that damage reflection, 70%, 40% damage reduced, and the healing, like she's great for survivability. And that's why we don't really need Prince Groose, right? Prince Groose is a great character still for Powerhouse, that's for sure. But I think now that we have Shamrock and Gunko, specifically Gunko, I don't think this character is going to be seeing as much play, right? I mean, he's great on Sword Team still because he does that revive as well. But yes, we do have evasion to action bind, fixed damage, damage ignoring defense. But I don't think we really need that. I really don't think we need it. We have a shield from Valkyrie and Jupiter. We have CT delay to prevent the enemy from using their special from both Smoothie special and also IMU'S passive. And now we have Gunko and Shamrock who allow you to activate so quickly before the enemy uses their specials. So I don't think we really need to worry about being action binded or dying from damage ignoring defense anymore. And this is also quite annoying because you first need to get stats down and then or stats down evasion, and then you can only get the damage ignoring defense. And I mean, he's doing spray damage still, but as I said, we really don't need it. And we have sub swap from Smoothie already. Yeah, I think this is a pretty solid lineup. Putting Gunko in this position here, and then putting Shamrock here, because we don't want Shamrock to die, so put him on the outermost position. Emu can take the hits so that he delays and reduces his own CT. And then Walkyrie and Fengxi are both very tanky here. Of course, Smoothie isn't getting as many buffs since she's not a world government unit. That's why we're putting her on the outer rim as well. But when we talk about the strength team, it's pretty simple. I mean, we need a 5 Elder for Emu, so we're putting 20 cost Nustro. The main problem with the strength lineup is that everyone here is 55 cost. That's why we only have the spot for one 20 cost unit on the bench, being Nustro. But I mean, Beckman, Yasap, and Shanks are going to be pulling their weight, doing this sub swapping the whole time. And I believe with all the CT reduction that Shamrock and Gunko are providing, we will be able to get Shanks to activate quite reliably before he dies. Get that damage ignoring defense. I mean, having the combo of Shamrock's regular damage being so beastly, but also just the damage ignoring defense from Shanks, it's going to be amazing, bro. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think there's a way we can make the strength team here have a 20 cost unit on the main lineup with 4 55 cost units? Who would we ditch, man? I mean, Beckman, Yasap, and Shanks, they're kind of a pair. The Emu plus Shamrock plus Gunko is kind of a trio now as well. So it's kind of hard to... There's no outcast or outlier here. I mean, we've already kicked Marcus Mars off the team. He's not pulling his weight enough, in my opinion. But yeah, this is interesting. We also can't put Caesar on the team because Caesar needs us to have those 3 Logia type or scientist units, which we don't have space for. I think I'm pretty satisfied with this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I mean, I think I've explained everything I wanted to about these characters, and I think this is going to be a really fun meta. So buckle up, get your dual elders. I mean, they're not going to return for a while. Dual elders are anniversary legends, remember? So they're really not going to return for a while, right? So yeah, hopefully you have them already. Luckily, as I said, I don't think Mars and Saturn is really necessary anymore, since we have Shamrock as the regular damage DPS, kind of doing spray damage, regular damage, defense downing the enemy, massive attack up. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. That's gonna be it for the video. Make sure to like, subscribe if you want to see more analyses like these in the future. Peace, and I'm out.